Hello, this is Aaron Maller from Parallax team, and this series of videos is going to go over the features, functionality, and user instructions for the Parallax toilet stalls and restroom accessories. First step is going to be to load the toilet stalls into the project. If you're using a content navigator, you can just load them in from there. There are two toilet stall families. You're looking for one that's called toilet stall front entry and toilet stall side entry. You may not need both of them, but we're going to use both in this project just as a demonstration. If you're not using a content navigator, you can simply go to Load Family, and then you can go find them wherever you've got them stored in the library. So if I'm going to go to the 2018 version, you'll find toilet stall front entry and toilet stall side entry. We'll also bring in the urinal screen. You may see that there are a lot of other components in here that are called toilet stalls. Those are nested families that are used by the toilet stall, but you won't actually have to bring them in. I've already loaded them in this project, but if you were to just click open in that dialog, they would then be loaded in. The first thing you need to know about using these toilet stalls is that they are actually generic models. You can tell this because they use the Parallax team naming convention of showing that they're intended to be a form of specialty equipment, but then in parentheses you see GM for generic model. So we have the front entry stall and we have the side entry stall. And one of the first things that you'll notice is if you loaded it in through the traditional load family button that there are a number of different types in each stall. The first differentiation is that there are men's and there are women's stalls. The differences between the men's and women's types of stalls is that there is an additional accessory in all of the toilet stalls for the women's rooms. Also, you'll notice that all of the types right now say overhead braced, but the toilet stall itself is named UH at the end, which stands for unhosted. All of the toilet stalls are built as completely unhosted generic models. They have graphical and visibility options to make them appear as either floor mounted or overhead braced or ceiling hung, even though they're not actually ceiling hosted and they just appear to be touching the ceiling if you configure them at the right height. For now, all the types are listed as overhead braced, and the last thing that you'll notice is that they have standard types defined already. There is a standard stall, which is 32 by 60 with accessories on the side. There is an ambulatory stall for the states that need to provide ambulatory stalls, which is the 36-inch wide outswinging door with grab bars in the stall. And then, of course, there is the full accessible stall. The side entry stalls, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, are only available in the full accessible 60-inch wide stall. When we show you where that gets used, it'll make a little more sense in a few minutes. There are a series of nested components that are all named restroom accessories. You'll notice that some of them appear to be generic models and some of them appear to be specialty equipment, but they are all named with the same 10 for the specification division and then restroom ACC for accessories in the name. Some of them are modeled out of generic models. That way, if you have them cut in the view by either an interior elevation or a building section, they can look correct. Most notably, the grab bars and the toilet stalls themselves. This allows the firms using the content to decide, does the interior elevation go outside the stall where you see the stalls in elevation or through the stalls where you see the stalls in section. Both the stalls and the grab bars, being generic models, will let them cut properly depending on how you've chosen those views. So, with that, in the next video, we will start placing the toilet stalls.